You're a narcissist.
Well,
and I'm not going to put this family
like you're a
again.
narcissist because you're talking and you're going all...
Shut his microphone off,
Yeah,
and if
shut
you
his
keep
microphone
talking, I'm going to do it without you. You'll be in there. I've heard enough from you. You killed your wife. A jury of 12 convicted you.
A white jury that did not have any black jurors on there, and that's not law. That is a setup.
Shut up.
I'm not going to shut up.
Get him out of here.
Get him out of here.
October 5th, 2022, just before 8 a.m., the sun had barely crept above the roofs of Richlawn Avenue in Cheektowaga, New York, a quiet suburb just outside Buffalo. It should have been another ordinary Wednesday, but by the time the clock struck 8:15, the street would be covered in shattered glass, the air pierced with screams, and the silence replaced by sirens. Keaira Hudson, 30 years old, mother of 3, was doing what so many parents do every morning. She was behind the wheel, driving her children to daycare. A 4-year-old, a toddler, and her youngest, just 6 months old. They sat strapped in the back seat, sippy cups in hand, unaware their lives were about to change forever. As Keaira approached the daycare entrance, a second vehicle suddenly appeared, not from the side, not behind, directly in front. It accelerated, fast, deliberate, and then it struck. A sickening crunch of metal. Keaira's SUV was rammed off the road. Before she could open her door, he was already outside, gun in hand. The killer? Her husband, Adam Bennefield. And by the time police arrived, he was gone. But this wasn't just a crime of passion, because 1 week earlier, Keaira had warned everyone, "He's going to kill me, you don't understand." She knew, and the system knew too, and still no one stopped him. But how does a wedding day turn into a war zone? To understand that, we need to go back to the beginning. February 2022. Keaira Hudson wore white, a crown of crystals in her hair, her smile radiant, her eyes alive. She called it the happiest day of my life. And to the hundreds of friends and family watching her Facebook feed, it looked like a fairy tale had begun. Her groom, Adam Bennefield, 15 years older, calm, charming, attentive. She called him her rock. He called her his angel. The photos showed 2 people kissing under white drapes, holding hands in prayer. Keaira's words were filled with hope. "He loves me with every breath he has, my forever." But behind the fairy lights and filtered filters, something darker was growing. Adam had a temper, a history, a side no one wanted to see. What no one knew then was that this wedding wasn't the beginning of a love story. It was the calm before a storm. But love is an armor, and soon, the mask would fall. September 28th, 2022, a silent video began circulating on Facebook. Security footage, grainy but unmistakable. A man, pacing, shouting, advancing. A woman, cornered, defenseless, struck. The attacker was Adam Bennefield. The victim, his wife, Keaira Hudson. Keaira posted the footage herself, not to shame him, not for sympathy, but for protection. She knew the walls were closing in. She knew she might not be heard. Her caption read, "This is what this man does to me, but I'm always treated like I'm the abuser." It wasn't the cry for help. It was a warning. In the footage, the violence is clear, but what's absent is chilling. There are no screaming children, no witnesses on camera. Just the cold, brutal simplicity of abuse captured on tape. Quiet, clinical, unforgivable. The video made headlines. Public outrage followed. Police arrested Adam within hours. He was charged with misdemeanor assault, unlawful imprisonment, and endangering the welfare of a child. A protective order was issued. On paper, it looked like justice was finally moving. But the charges, despite the video, were labeled non-qualifying offenses, which meant no bail, no jail, no real protection. Adam was released the very next day. Keaira was terrified. She fled to her mother's house, rarely left, and when she did, she wore a bulletproof vest. She told her mother plainly, "He's going to kill me. You don't understand." The system had seen the evidence. The public had watched the abuse. Keaira gave everything she had, and still, no one stopped him. The laws were written to protect her. But what happens when the law becomes the loophole? Keaira Hudson had done everything right. She documented the abuse. She pressed charges. She secured a protective order. The system, on paper, was supposed to work. But on October 4th, 2022, just 1 week after her abuse was captured on video, Adam Bennefield was released from jail. No bail, no ankle monitor, no supervision. Stop. How does a man filmed assaulting his wife walk out of jail hours later? It comes down to 4 words: non-qualifying misdemeanor offenses. Under New York State's 2019 bail reform law, judges are barred from setting bail for a wide range of charges, including many violent misdemeanors. Even if the suspect has a prior record, even if there's a restraining order, even if the victim fears for her life. Adam was charged with 7 offenses, but none of them were legally eligible for bail. No judge, no matter how concerned, could keep him detained. So within hours of his arraignment, he was free. Keaira's restraining order remained in place, but it was just paper. It had no teeth, no police presence, no immediate consequences for violating it. Legal advocates would later point out, restraining orders are only as strong as the systems that enforce them, and in Keaira's case, those systems barely stirred. She was a mother of 3. She had done everything she could, and still, she knew the man who had beaten her was coming back. "He's going to kill me," she told her mother again. "You don't understand," and still, no one stepped in. No agency intervened. No judge reversed the release. No follow-up checks. The law said she was protected. The reality? She was utterly alone. And so, with no one left to protect her, Keaira did the only thing she could. She prepared for war. They say trauma leaves a mark, but Keaira Hudson wore hers literally, a bulletproof vest, every single day. Not out of paranoia, but out of promise. Because Adam Bennefield had told her, "If I can't have you, no one will." She had moved in with her mother after his release, rarely left the house, avoided windows. She wouldn't even walk her kids to the car without slipping on body armor. It wasn't fashion. It wasn't fear. It was certainty. Her mother didn't understand at first. "Why are you wearing that?" she asked. Keaira's answer stopped her cold. "Because he's going to kill me. You don't understand."
She's been staying at my mom's house for the last 2 days, and that she was going to go to court today because he was trying to get custody.
But she never made it to court or work. Family members telling me Keaira strapped on a bulletproof vest before leaving the house Wednesday morning, got in her SUV with her 3 kids, and was on her way to drop them off at school when she was shot and killed.
He must have been stalking her. My mom asked her, "Why are you putting that vest on?" She said, "Because, Mom, he's going to kill me. You don't understand."
She wasn't being dramatic. She wasn't being overprotective. She was being realistic because Adam had promised vengeance, and Keaira believed him. She alerted police. She gave them footage. She gave them names. She gave them time. But no extra patrols came. No officers checked in. And that vest became her only shield. October 5th, 2022. It was supposed to be a regular morning. Keaira loaded her kids into the car, diaper bag packed, coat zipped. She was headed out, just like any other day. But this day would end differently, and her children would never be the same. As Keaira's SUV approached her destination, another vehicle appeared behind her, fast, aggressive, closing in. It was Adam. He had found her. He rammed her from behind, forced her off the road. Keaira's car jolted to a stop, and then he stepped out with a gun.
What's that? What's the emergency? Hi, I'm at the corner of...
He fired and didn't stop. Witnesses say he shot her multiple times, in the head, neck, and chest, in full view of her 3 children. The youngest was just 6 months old. Keaira died slumped in the driver's seat, still wearing her vest, still trying to protect the only things that mattered. Adam fled the scene. As police swarmed the neighborhood, he vanished into the wind, again. Just like he had 22 years earlier, when he escaped from prison after kidnapping a former partner at gunpoint. Now, he was on the run once more, armed, dangerous, and this time, a murderer. The public was warned. A manhunt began. For 7 days, Keaira's name trended online, but not for the reasons she deserved, not for her resilience, not for her courage, but because her story had ended exactly how she predicted. 1 week later, October 12th, Adam Bennefield was finally captured, but it was too late. The bulletproof vest hadn't stopped him. The law hadn't stopped him. The courts hadn't stopped him. And Keaira was gone. But justice was only beginning, because this time, Adam wouldn't run from the courtroom. He'd face it.
The state of New York versus Adam Bennefield.
The man accused of killing his wife earlier this month was arraigned Friday morning. 45-year-old Adam Bennefield is charged with killing Keaira Hudson in front of her 3 children.
Mr. Bennefield has been indicted by a grand jury of Erie County.
Bennefield faces 1 count of murder in the 2nd degree, 3 counts of endangering the welfare of a child, and 1 count of aggravated criminal contempt for allegedly violating an order of protection.
In that courtroom, the air was thick, not with anticipation, but with grief. Keaira's family filled the benches. Some wore buttons with her photo. Others clutched tissues like lifelines. All of them sat face to face with the man who stole everything from them.
Criminal sentencing got heated this afternoon as Adam Bennefield would learn the fate he faces for killing his estranged wife, Keaira Hudson, in front of their children.
Yeah, I'm here because I don't want to be here. I'm forced to be here to fight these charges.
All right, thank you. You're here because the jury convicted you of brutally killing your wife.
Interrupting me while I'm talking. I don't interrupt you, so why do you keep interrupting me? I know you're the judge, but
Okay, hear me out. I've heard enough of this narcissistic. You're a narcissist, and I'm not going to put this family
You're a
again.
narcissist because you're talking and you're going all...
Shut his microphone off, and if you keep talking, I'm going to do it without you. You'll be in there. I've heard enough from you. You killed your wife. A jury of 12 convicted you.
A white jury that did not have any black jurors on there, and that's not law. That is a setup. So you want to send me out there, I go out there, but you know what the law is, and you haven't followed it. And neither has you, and neither has you.
All right.
Everybody sat here and
Hear me out. Shut up.
I'm not going to shut up.
Get him out of here.
Get me out of here. You don't have
I want to apologize.
The prosecution, however, didn't blink. They built a damning timeline. The abuse video, the restraining order, the jail release, the murder in front of their children. Witnesses testified. Medical examiners confirmed what everyone feared. Keaira had been shot at close range, multiple times, while seated and unarmed. Even the bulletproof vest wasn't enough.
He didn't check on the kids to see if he injured them when he crashed his truck into their vehicle. He didn't check on the kids to see if he injured them when he shot Keaira with a shotgun. He made a choice to evade police rather than check on his own children.
Keira's family delivered heart-shattering victim impact statements. Her sister spoke through sobs. Her children's words were read aloud. The youngest could only cry.
After approximately an hour of deliberating, the jury found Adam Bennefield guilty of murdering his estranged wife.
A jury of 12, after years of delays and grief, returned a unanimous verdict: guilty. The judge handed down the maximum sentence allowed by law: 25 years to life for second-degree murder, additional time for child endangerment and criminal contempt, a permanent mark on the New York DNA databank. The judge's final words were chilling. If anyone deserves never to see the light of day again, it's you. Keaira Hudson's life ended with silence, but her name only grew louder. In the weeks after her murder, the story made national headlines. News anchors debated it. Advocates wept over it. Lawmakers defended a system that had clearly collapsed. But for Keaira's family, grief became fuel. They weren't just mourning, they were mobilizing. 2 years later, Keaira's mother filed a lawsuit against the town of Cheektowaga and its police department. She alleged what the public already suspected, that Keaira wasn't just failed, she was abandoned. The lawsuit accused officers of negligence, of failing to properly charge Adam Bennefield, of letting a known danger walk free, of giving him the opportunity to finish what he started. But this was never just about one mother, or one courtroom, or one killer. This was about every woman who's begged for help and been told to wait. Every survivor who posted a video and still wasn't believed. Every order of protection that became a funeral notice. At candlelight vigils across Buffalo, they speak her name, not as a victim, but as a warning and a promise. Keaira Hudson, a mother, a sister, a fighter, and now a symbol. Because in death, Keaira did what she tried so hard to do in life. She made people pay attention. But even with laws re-examined and policies debated, there's still one question no system has answered. Why wasn't she enough? There are numbers that tell this story. 1 mother, 3 children, 7 days on the run, 25 years to life. But there's one number that can't be counted. How many times Keaira asked for help and was ignored? She posted proof, filed reports, testified in court, fled to safety, wore a vest, and still, it wasn't enough. So we have to ask, not as lawyers, not as viewers, but as people, why wasn't she enough?
Kids in the SUV tells me this should have never happened.
I know he was arrested a couple days ago for domestic violence.
I think your daughter was in that car.
Yes, she was.
She saw what happened.
Yes, she did. And there was 2 other kids in the car. This is what happens.
The video you sent me was posted on Facebook.
Yes, it was.
She said if anything ever happens to her, she will not rest in peace.
She did everything survivors are told to do, and the system, with all its protocols and paperwork, still turned away. It didn't fail because it didn't know. It failed because it didn't act, and that is what haunts us. Keaira Hudson was more than a case. She was a woman who loved fiercely, a mother who fought with everything she had, and a survivor who screamed her truth into a digital void. She didn't go unheard. She went unanswered. Keaira Hudson's story is not just a crime. It's a call to every neighbor who hears yelling through a wall and chooses silence. To every official who waits for real proof. To every law written with good intentions but deadly loopholes. Because protection isn't paperwork, it's presence, it's policy, it's power, given when it matters most. Her case teaches us that survival isn't only about escape, it's about who shows up when you cry for help. Keaira screamed, in courtrooms, online, to her family, and still, no one arrived in time. Her lesson is simple. It's not paranoia if it's already happened. and too late should never be the system's response. So if you're listening now and you feel unsafe, tell someone. If someone tells you they're afraid, believe them. And if you see injustice, don't wait for tragedy to act. We didn't save Keaira, but we can save the next her. Like this video to amplify her story. Comment below to share how we fix this broken system. Subscribe to Crime Gone Viral for stories that don't just inform, they demand change. Because justice isn't just what happens in court, it's what we do with the truth afterward. Stay safe. Thank you, and God bless you.